Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Dreamcast review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Fur Fighters, which if you've never played it before, it's a third-person action-adventure type game. It's a pretty good game, and it's also the game that my little brother was addicted to for years. Basically, he wasn't really into gaming, he got a Dreamcast. If you've seen other vids, you'll have seen us say that he had the Dreamcast and I never got to play it. And I got him this game for Christmas one year, and he didn't play it, and he didn't play anything, and then eventually I said, well, will you just try it? And him and his father got addicted to it for like 2 years. They played it non-stop. They got the PS2 version, played that non-stop. It's pretty much, it's circle of life type thing. My brother got me into gaming, I got him into gaming. I was chuffed with that. But there is only so much that you can see the game, and literally 2 years listening to the same music over and over again, it can start to grate on you. But I always wanted to play the game. So I got it for my Dreamcast, and I really like it. It is a really good game. So at the start, you've got start game, load game, then you've got fluff match, which is 4-player deathmatch, and it's okay, it's not a world beat or anything. Controller options, which obviously it's a third-person shooter, so it's Dreamcast is immediately hindered because it doesn't have a dual stick setup, which is a shame because it's the only thing that isn't really that great about the game, and personally I prefer using the buttons to move and the analog to aim, but you can do it the other way. Sound options, visual options, not really much there. I'm simply going to start a new game because I don't want to spoil anything with the story, because it is a funny story. It's no speech or anything, it's reading stuff, and it is totally insane, down to the fact that the main boss, Vigor, you see him at the start stroking a pet baby that looks a lot like Mini-Me. It's just absolutely mental, it really is. But the whole point is you play as the Fur Fighters, which are these people here. You've got, well, not people, animals. You've got Rufus, a Scottish dog. You've got Juliet, a French cat. Bungalow, an Aussie kangaroo. Tweak, a Welsh dragon. Rico, an Argentinian penguin. And Chang, a Chinese, well, red panda, firefox. And each of them have different unique abilities, and you have to use those to play through the game. Because the whole point is, the bad guy is trying to, like, destroy the world, trying to do his evil, villainous plot. So, to put the Fur Fighters, the international round fighting squad, and, like, all-round crime solvers off their game, he kidnaps their babies. And you have to rescue the babies, and you have to be that character to rescue that baby. So, even though all 6 are friends, and I think the only reason they did this and didn't really explain anything in the story about it is the fact that obviously it would make the game too easy if you could just play through the entire game with one character getting all the babies. But instead, it has to be done. You have to be the Firefox to get the Firefox babies. You have to be the dragon to get the dragon babies. The weirdest thing is, though, and it's the only thing I disagree with the story, Tweak isn't a parent. Tweak is a brother. Tweak is one of the, he's probably about a couple of years older than the babies that you're rescuing as Tweak. He's about 3-4 times the size of the babies. His mother is the one that they kidnap, though, and his mother is about 50 times the size of Tweak. So it makes me wonder just what the hell they managed to do, the bad guys, to actually kidnap this huge, monstrous dragon, because it's the only part of the story that I dislike. It makes no sense. Granted, gameplay-wise, it would make no sense playing as a 50-foot tall dragon, but it also makes no sense that they were able to easily kidnap the dragon over kidnapping the babies of the other stuff, or just the adults of the other stuff, because, like, why kidnap Rufus's babies when you could kidnap Rufus and his wife? If you manage to kidnap a 50-foot dragon, is kidnapping a dog who's about 2 foot tall really going to be that much harder? It's the only part of the story I dislike, because it doesn't make sense, but it's not supposed to make sense, I suppose. It's supposed to be insane and mental, and it is. It succeeds at that, and it's funny. Gameplay wise, as I say, they've each got different abilities. Tweak can do a little glide thing, so he can get over long distances. Chang can go under the small platforms. Bungalow can jump really high. Juliet can climb claw marks. Rufus can dig underground. I think the only one I've not mentioned is Rico, who's the penguin, and he can swim underwater. And they've each got their own personalised melee attack as well, but all melee attacks are just like the same damage and that, they do the same thing. One's not better than the other just because they've got claws or paws or things like that, Weapon-wise, there's quite a lot of variety. You've got plasma weapons, thermal weapons, and then you've got your usual rocket launchers, shotguns, Uzis, pistols, and It's gameplay wise, it does play really well. It's just all the time you are thinking it. If you are playing it in this day and age, you will miss dual analog. But getting used to playing as buttons and one analog isn't that hard. And thankfully, the game's never frantic enough to make you feel at a disadvantage, because it's almost similar to Half-Life in the way of you do get heavy action bits, but at the same time you get a lot of heavy puzzle bits. So as much of the time that you're going to be spending shooting, you're going to be spending looking around, solving puzzles, finding out how to get the babies. So it could be a case of you'll see a dog baby while you're playing as Tweak, and you'll have to glide over, then find the ability to change into Rufus to then rescue that baby, or, you know, it's anything like that. And gameplay wise, it does actually work really well. It's a good system, and it's something that you don't really see a lot of anymore, because I honestly can't think of another game that's like this, and it's a shame that all the rights have gone here, there and everywhere, and now the only real way to play it without playing one of the original consoles is getting the app, which I tried, and it's not that great. It really, if you think not playing with dual analogs bad, then playing with touchscreens even worse. And that's not me having to go at apps or anything. I absolutely love playing games on the iPad, on the iPod and things like that. I think he's the only one I've got left to do. I've been too busy talking that I haven't worked out which baby I need. But yes, Chang was the last one I need to do. So yeah, musically the game is good, just not when you're listening to it constantly for 2 years, as I say. So I will shut up and let you listen to a little bit of music. Story-wise, as I say, it's a bit insane. There's no voice acting or anything. It's not Simlish, because obviously Simlish is unique to The Sims, but it's all rah, 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 rah type thing, you know. So yeah, I'll just shut up for a little bit while you see us collecting some tokens and working out where to go in the pretty obvious where to go training mission, and then I'll get back to talking about the game. So that was a little bit of the music, and as you might have noticed, I picked up a subway token, and that's one of the things I need to say about the game. It's not a game that's straightforward where you go level A, level B, level C, you know. It basically, you start in a world hub, and then you unlock another hub for that world hub type thing. So like you've got a main hub, then you go into the Quack City hub, then from there you go into 4 levels, and so on and so forth. The only thing that I've noticed that's a bit weird about the game, I counted 24 levels when I beat it, and I even went to a guide to confirm that in case I'd missed anything, because at the end of the day, a human being, not perfect, sometimes you miss things. The reason I did that is because the back of the box says 36 levels, so I don't understand where these other 12 levels are. So unless it's counting the world hubs as levels, because at the end of the day you do have things to get, like tokens and that, and then there's also 6 mini games, and maybe it's counting the mini games as levels, because overall it would add up that you get 6 world hubs and 6 mini games to go on top of the 24 levels to make 36. So that is my only guess as to the logic behind it. It could simply be a human error and a misprint, because I've already mentioned one of those already, so it might just simply be something like that. But all the same, it's a decent length. It's something that you can sink a good few hours into it, just even if you're not trying to 100% it, even if you're just trying to get the bare bones minimum amount of babies and tokens to unlock the next levels in the next world to then get to it. It's going to take you a while, but if you want to get everything, then it's going to take you a very long while, especially because finding certain babies unlocks certain mini games which unlock certain abilities. For example, you can get cheats like invincibility, and I believe there's infinite ammo and things like that. There's then some daft cheats, like I don't know if it's on this, but when I say a daft cheat, it's the type of thing to expect things like big head mode and that. I'd have to double check if big head mode is one of the cheats. It might be super thin mode or something on this, and which essentially has the same effect as just being zany. But yeah, it's something that you can put plenty of time into because the gameplay works. The only thing I've got a huge problem with, the only thing that I think's kind of broken with the game, is sometimes the camera isn't your friend at all, and the fact that you can't move it at times, it really does get to you, because there are times that you'll go into a blind alley with no energy, get shot, die, and have to go back to your last checkpoint, which checkpoints on the game are character changes. It's basically, it's the only way to save on the game. Either beat the level, exit the level, go into a level, or change character. So whenever you need to save, all you need to do is look for a character changer, but sometimes that's easier said than done, because there's some sections that are huge and you might be thinking, oh, I could really do a save here, and you can't find one. But at the end of the day, it's an old school game and it's designed to be difficult. And as I say, if you could just play through it so easily with being able to save all the time and being able to just use one character, then it would be stupidly easy and it'd be a terrible game. Instead, the fact that they've done it the way that they have, I think works really well and makes it a really good game. Upon completing a level, even if it's just the training mission, you get marked on your time, how well you did, how many babies you got, how many tokens out of tokens that you got, how many kills you got, and things like that. I've just quickly looked at the cheat list, and big head mode and thin mode are in the game, so I knew I wasn't wrong with that one. There's also fisheye mode, alternative voices, and things like that. There is invincibility, but I'm thinking it wasn't infinite ammo, it was an ammo boost, glitch, cheaty type thing. It's not an actual infinite ammo cheat though. So maybe they added that to the PS2 version, because as I say, my brother did play both pretty much, not so much religiously, but constantly, and there were a couple things different about the PS2 version, and maybe it's that I'm remembering. As well as the gameplay that I've mentioned, there's also some items, which I apologise for not moving at the moment, but it's just getting me list of notes up. There's a bug shield, which basically you collect that, and there's 3 bugs on it, and they circle you, and it allows you to take more damage. There's a bear disguise, which is a cardboard box with a bear face on it, and obviously it allows you to be stealthy. And there's a meerkat multiple, which basically you get 4 meerkats pop up to help you, and the fire machine guns, things like that, just to help you kill enemies. So when you see them, it's worth getting them because they are very useful items. But there's nothing much else out of the norm that I can really see. It is just one of those things. If you've played a third-person shooter, you know what to expect. But it's the gimmick, the uniqueness, or the grab to the game is the collecting the babies, solving the puzzles, and being the different things. And as I say, I honestly don't think I've played another game like it. So if you are into the third-person genre, it's well worth you picking this up and having a look, whether you get the PS2 version or the Dreamcast version, or if you have the ability to, quite frankly, play it on an iPad and just want to give yourself a tester, because for 69p it'll tell you whether or not you'd be able to manage if you were using a pad over, well, buttons and analogs and that. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can think of to say about the game. It's just for a recap then. Graphically, I think it's good. Musically, I think it's good. Gameplay wise, it's unique, addictive and fun. It's also challenging. There's a lot to do. The mini games aren't really that impressive because it's things like Snake and that, but they're in there to add more gameplay because you've got to get really good at them to unlock the cheats and that. And it's just, considering how much the game sells for, which is only about £5 now, it's well worth looking into if you are a fan of the genre. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.